Section 3, number 1. You have an absolute value m minus 2 minus 2. Where the following is equals to negative 2 for some value of m. Look at this. You know by definition that the absolute value of any number always greater or equals to 0. In order to have this equals to what they ask you, negative 2, this must be 0. Okay. With the following equals to negative 2. I choose this one. I choose A. Because this is always supposed to be negative, greater or equals to 0, supposed to be 0. In this case, it's equals to negative 2. 1 second question. Any questions? Okay. 3, 2. Let me erase this one. In 3, 2. We have f of x equals to square root of 2 square root of 2x minus 4, and they ask you to find f of f negative 1 of negative 4. Okay, we have two these parentheses. You know what is f of negative 1? It's inverse function, right? You have in your calculator sine negative 1. It's the same like arc sine. If sine equals, let's say, equals to 1 over 2, sine of negative 1 would be pi over 6 or 30 degrees. Okay, inverse function. In inverse function, by definition, you have to switch x and y. It's the same like y. Now let's create this inverse function first. Okay. So if y equals to square root of 2x minus 4, you can write that x equals square root of 2y minus 4. In order to get inverse function, you reverse x and y. How to find y from here? Easy. You add 4 to both parts. Then you have x plus 4 equals to square root of 2y. To find 2y, irrational equation, put both parts to second term. And what you'll get? X squared expanded from plus 8x plus 16 equals to y. Or divide both part by 2. Okay. If I divide both part by 2 or multiply by 1 over 2 both parts, it would be 1 over 2 of this. And this by 1 over 2 cancel out. This is y. I can override that y, which is f negative 1 equals 1 over 2 of x squared plus 8x plus 16. Okay. Now they ask you to find inverse function of -4. Okay. F1 of -4, -1 of -4 equals 1/2, and you plug in instead of x -4, -4 to the second plus 8 times -4 and plus 16. This is 16 plus 16, 32, minus 32 is 0. 0 times 1/2 is 0. So this is equal to 0. What I found this value equals to 0. Now, don't forget our original function. Our original function is y equals to f of x equals square root of 2x minus 4. And find f of 0. Okay. Square root of 2 times 0 minus 4, which is -4. Okay. Any questions? Before I raise, no questions? This topic inverse function. You remember we solved few of them a while ago. Just switch x and y. I explain this and this. And we go to the next one. And what you have in the next? Again, I go through mostly class question. After that, I can go back to any of these questions. Okay. Next is 3.8. What we have in 3.8? In 3.8, we have 2 over 3x minus 5 over 9y equals to -7. And bx minus 10 over 3y equals to 17. In the system of equation, b is a constant, has no solution. What the value of b? Physically, when you have no solution, it means you have two equations which can be represented by two lines. They parallel, they never intersect, and they have different y-intercept. So one way is longer way, unscramble, find in format y equals to mx plus b, and the slope supposed to be the same and not to be parallel. Or faster way, use a ratio. All these coefficients supposed to be proportional except of this. Okay. So what you'll do, 2 over 3 over b must be equal negative 5 over 9 divided by negative 10 over 3. Or keep change flip. It's the same 2 over 3 and this is b over 1 times 1 over b, it would be b here, equals negative by negative is positive, 5 over 9, keep change division to multiplication, and multiply by 3 over 10. You can simplify by 3 and by 5. It will be 1 over 6. So what we accomplish? We have 2 over 3b equals to 1 over 6. Or 3b, they ask you to find b, right? 3b equals to 12. Divide by 3 both parts. B equals to 4. Okay, so far so good. Who understand everything up to this point? Raise hand. Okay, where is Evelyn? Evelyn, you understand everything? I believe I left for you, Evelyn, these answers. Count your scores and send us three numbers usually. This how many correct, this percentage, and 0, 1 if you sent us before. Okay, good. It was 3-8. Next is, again, I go through mostly past questions. If you have more questions, you can ask me if I miss some of this question. C10. In 310, who read this word problem? Sam, please, out loud, 310. Word problem, be ready to read out loud, and all of them read for yourself. Sam, you raise hand.
Dr. Farber, you said 310, right?
Yes.
In a homecoming game, a girls' basketball team scored 1/3 of its points during the first quarter, 1/4 of its points during the second quarter, 1/3 of its points during the third quarter, and 8 points in the fourth quarter. How many points did the team score in the game?
Okay, thank you. So be ready to read it, and every time read for yourself. So with this score, let's say the first quarter is x over 3. The second x over 4. The next is said x over 3 again. Okay. And if you subtract everything from x, you'll find fraction for the first quarter. Okay, and this is supposed to be equals to 8. Now, simple equation. LCD is 12. This is 4, this is 3, this is 4. And the 4 plus 3 plus 4, 11. Okay, over 12. So this is 12 over 12 minus 11x over 12, which is x over 12, equals to 8, or 8 over 1. cross x equals to 96. Yes, 96. We can okay, 3. Let's go. Again, if you have any questions, without hesitation, ask me. Next is 313. In 313, we have a graph. Let me make this picture. Okay. Find the one parabola, and we have another parabola, kind of like this. And this is negative C0. This is C0. And this upward parabola is f of x equals 6x squared minus 24. And parabola downward, g of x, which is negative 6x squared plus 24. And what's the question? The graph and the graph. The graph above intersect point C. What the value of C? Find C. Well, for instance, one of these. Since these common points of these two graphs, you can solve these equations. So this must be equal to this. And I will write 6x squared minus 24 equals negative 6x squared plus 24. Okay. Now plus 6x squared and plus 6x squared plus 24 and plus 24. You have 12x squared. Cancel out equals to 48. Divide by 12 both parts. And this will be 4. 4x equals plus minus square root of 4, which is plus minus 2. And they ask you to find C. What is it? It means this value is negative 2, 0. And this is 2, 0. So C equals to 2. C equals to 2. This is the only answer now. Okay, since 2, yes. C equals to 2. Any questions? If you don't have any questions, let's move to the next one. Okay, good. This was 3. What was 313? Yes. Okay. 314. what we have, 7 divided by 2 minus 3i. With the form is the equivalent form, and they give you different multiple choices here. Well, this is a standard for this. Without thinking, multiply by conjugate. I multiply this by 2 plus 3i denominator, and 2 plus 3i numerator. And I use property the a square minus b square equals a minus b times a plus b expanded form. So if I multiply numerator, what I have? I will have 14 plus 21i. In denominator 4 minus 9i squared. But since I squared equals to -1, I will have 4 minus 1 is given plus 13. I have 14 plus 21i over 13. Just multiply by conjugate. The same value with opposite sign, like in denominator. So far, so good. It was 14. Practically, almost all questions in SAT, they use the same standard. Zero creativity in majority of questions. Zero, just automatically, like multiplication table. It was 14. Shahrukh, no questions about this? Good. Okay. Next. A16. We have a picture. And this is 280. And this AB. Okay. And they provide a lot of nice information, but not related too much to this problem about this faro, etc. But the problem for me, if I look at this, the corridor AB is connected to the middle of each of two sides. Middle. So this equals to this, and this equals to this. So since that this is mid-segment. What is mid-segment? A segment where connected middle of each side of triangle. And what is theorem of mid-segment? Mid-segment always parallel to the third side and equals to half of this. Equals to 80 divided by 2, which is 1/4. We did many times. Property of mid-segment. Any questions? Okay, again, if you have any question, ask me. 5 students ask this question. You know this, right, students? Mid-segment is okay. Let me go through next one. I'm gonna go first of all through multi-class questions. Next is 319. You see, this is actually 15-second question. Just divide by 2 now. P19 R equals to 3 square root of 3. And 2R, if I wrote correctly, 2R equals to square root of 3x. I would ask you to find what value of x? What is value of x? Well, multiply this by 2, this by 1, system equation, and you will have 2r equals to 6 square root of 3, and 2r equals to square root of 3x. You can subtract equations, or you can see transitive property. If this equal to this equal to this, they equal to each other, so that this equals to each other. Doesn't matter how you do this. Square root of 3x equals to 6 square root of 3. We have simple irrational equation, put to both parts to the second power. And you have 3x equals to 36 times 3. And divide both part by 3. That's 36. Okay. Again, if you have any question, ask me. No questions? Okay. If you don't have questions, let's go through 320. In 320, oval and ellipse. What is it? E1, this Earth. E1 or E2. And this is Jupiter. Jupiter. Much bigger. What we know? Okay, Danish astronomer. He measured all these distances. And let me incorporate this is distance in this position. He measured it was what 600 gigameters. You know giga, like gigabytes. Giga is 10 to power 9, right? And this distance we measure it was what 900 gigameters. If you can easily find a coin addition postulate E1, E2, E1 or E2, E1 doesn't matter. This segment equals 900 minus 600, which is 300 gigameters. Look at this next, what they provided this. And he measured this 300 gigameters it takes 1,000 seconds to move this. 1,000 seconds is given. And 600, you can do it mentally. 600 gigameters. I don't know. This is seconds. Either use proportion or just multiply by 2 both parts. Because this is 2 times bigger than this, so this x supposed to be 2,000 seconds. Or use proportion, 2,000 seconds. Okay, so far so good. Any questions? Okay. You study astronomy already or not yet in school? Who study astronomy? You didn't study astronomy. You know Kepler's law, right? Second Kepler's law, all planets move by ellipses. In focus of this ellipse supposed to be the sun. Okay, this is second one. T20. Now, let me go over through again. If I miss something so far, let me know. I will explain any question from section 3. If not, ask at the end of class. But I go through most required question first. Okay. So next is section number 4. In section number 4, for 1. Again, if it's easy, but you ask a few students, I definitely explain. What is it? It's m minus 4 over 3 equals to x over 9. What is x in terms of m? Just use cross multiplication. 3x equals 9 times m minus 4. Divide by 3 both parts. If you look at multiple choice, this is C for 1. Okay, next is for 2. For 2, let me see who asked me this question. Theodore, for 2, please. Please ask for 2. Theodore, for 2.
After researching the future costs of a 4-year college education, Sergio and Maria began saving for their daughter's tuition. After 2 years, they had accrued $2,870 for their college fund. After 5 years, the account balance was $7,150. If Sergio and Maria continue to save at the same rate as they have for the past 5 years, what will the savings be after 78 months?
Okay, thank you. There are a few keywords here. The same rate, you know, for rate is equivalent of slope, right? If you depict a line in a graph, and the bigger rate, the bigger slope. So they have the same slope. And this linear function, you know how to find slope, you know how to find equation of line, right? Let's do this. Nice eating, Theodore. And let's see what we have. What to? You know, y equals to, no, I will not write this, it's general. I write start line y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. Incorporate with data, what we have here. 7,150. And original is 28,870. And divide by 5 minus 2 years. If you perform this, I did it, I give the answer. Let me see what is my answer. M would be 1,42667. And you can write equation of line mx plus b, which is 1,42667 x plus b. In order to find b, look at this, what we have. Plug in some values. Okay, for instance, for 2 years, we have 2,870. So y equals to f of x. Right here, f of x. And you can easily find f of 2. F of 2 equals 1,42667 times 2 plus b, and this must be equals to 1,870. Okay. After calculation, this you have scientific calculator here. I found from this simple equation with one unknown, this multiplication, I found the b equals to what? 16.67. Again, if you need help for this multiplication, you can do together. And finally, I have equation of this line. Y equals to f of x equals 1,426.67 x plus 1667. And now they ask you a question when you have equation of line. After 78 months. What is 78 months? I will use somewhere. 78 divided by 12. I will have 672 and 6 or 6.5 years. Years. I converted to years. And the very last step, since you have function, if you know everything about this function, f of 6.5 equals 1,426.67 times 6 times, this is times 6.5 plus 1667. Since it's scientific calculator, when you multiply everything, you got 9,000 to 9002. 9 to 90 02. Any questions like this? You have to find the equation of line, and after that you can answer everything. So far so good for 2. Okay, the next question is, let me see, 4. Okay, let me see for Elira. Please, it was your question as well. 4.
Yeah, so Mr. Tesler, a biology teacher, uses pre-prepared slides of microorganisms to share with his class. Yesterday, one of Mr. Tesler's aides inadvertently mixed up the slides such that they no longer can be identified. Mr. Tesler knew he had the following slides of paramesa, 2 slides of amoeba, which is 5 slides of microbacteria, which is 3. If Mr. Tesler selects 2 slides at random, what is the probability that he will select a slide of Parmica, followed by a slide of Amoebe.
Thank you. Nice reading. 4-4. In 4-4, what is given? Okay. Slides of, I name it instead of this long Latin words, slides of P, 2 slides. Slides of A, 5 slides. Slides of M, 3 slides. If I add them up, I will get total 10 slides total. Now, they shuffle this like cards, slides, nice scientist. And now the question is, select of P following slide of A. So for P, you have P follow A, probability in this case. And you have to find probability of P follow A. And it would be 2 out of 10. Usually count probability fair outcomes of total. But this is result replacement. You took one and you do not put back. That's why they ask you to follow this, yes. Next is A, but A we have 5. But since 1 P is taken, total will be deducted by 1. It will be over 9. You name it probability without replacement. You took, do not put back. After that count, 5 goes into 10 2 times, right? And 2 and 2 cancel out. And you have 1 over 9. Simple probability question. Any questions so far? No questions, okay. Student who send me scores, like don't forget, data goes in my AI system. If the last is 0, system doesn't trust your result. It's multiplied by 0. Send me your result before class one day, okay? It's not difficult. I want to have 1. In this case, we have durable results for AI. Well, 4-4. Next is, what do we have? More questions first. After that, I return back, okay? It was 7. Next, 411. In 411 students, you have a dynamic cluster problem. It's related to, we have one introductory sentence in the beginning, and we have a table. And usually, good idea to solve it together, but nobody asked me for 10, but ask for 11. What we have in 411? In 411, 1.3 for all cars were 20 years old. 1.3%. So step number 1. 1.3%. Convert to decimals. Move to the left 2 steps. It would be 0.013. And these cars, okay, which are greater or equals 20 years old, all cars, this percentage. But to find value, you have to in 410, add them up in the table. You have table, and you have different cars, and you add them up, and you get total. This is step number 2. Total. It's millions of cars. It would be 1 over 4.7 millions of cars. In step number 3, to find value, how many we have old cars, we take this 0.013, multiply by this amount, 1 of 4.7. Okay, if you multiply, I get 1.36 millions of cars. But this is not the question. The question is, okay, the question, what percent of 12-year car? What is 12-year car from this one? 12-year car cars. How many we have from this table? Look at this table. It's 14.4 millions. And they ask you percent against of this base, which is 100%. And 1.36 millions. I have no idea. From cross multiplication, if you multiply, you get x. Cross multiplication, x is about 9.4%. Easy, but don't solve one of them. It's supposed to be together with 410. But without this value, how you solve it? Okay, 411. So far, so good. 412. If you don't have any questions, erase, we move to the next one. Well, I refer to the graph you have. And if I make a best fit line, it goes kind of like this. And this close to 16. And what is it? SAT, score. SAT score. In 100. So 1600, let's say, SAT score. And what is line? TV device. How many hours watching nice TV? Okay. And give multiple choices. Look at this. Even without creating equation of this line, You don't need this, like quality. More hours you spend watching TV, the lower your score. Amount of hour increase, score decrease. More time you spend with your gadgets, your score dropping down. Look and see. SAT scores vary inversely with daily television device viewing. Frankly speaking, I would, if I made this problem, I would make some corrections, because for inverse variation, we have graph supposed to be like this for inverse. You know this, right? For inverse variation. Because in inverse, the x in denominator. But among of this, you consider this inverse. Not classical inverse, but more hours you spend, lower score. Any questions for 412? How to improve your score? Less time watching TV. I don't have TV, for instance, at all. My colleague came to me and they were surprised that I don't have TV. And they brought me a nice big plasma. Okay, for holiday. What I did with plasma, I took this box and put in a garbage and still sticker, yellow sticker. Take this, it's brand new. Why? Because TV is a garbage, taking your time for nothing. Okay, don't watch TV too much. This is 412. Next is real story, by the way. For 17. In 417, you have x 108, 112, 113, and 119. This is a list of 5 6th grade students list below. 112 is the median. This is median. Okay. What the greatest value of x? X is positive integer. So if this median we have is the middle number, right? Since we have odd number of numbers. We have to the left and to the right of this 112. And x cannot exceed 112. Because if exceed 112, it would be over there, it would be not the median. So we have the least and the second smallest. In order to have it the biggest, I would write this 108 blank 112 113 and 119. So they don't say the number is supposed to be distinct. Can I have the same two numbers? Why not? Can I have it over there? 112? 112 is the greatest possible value for this. If they said number are distinct, not the same, the answer would be what? 111. In this case, it is the smallest, and this is the second smallest. Any questions? No questions. It was 417. Okay. Let me go to next one. 418. 418. In 418, we have a circle which is inscribed in square. Kind of like this, right? It has perimeter of square, which is, let's say, each side is x. 4x is equals to 64. You can divide by 4 most parts, and you get 16. So one side is 16. And question is, what's the probability of a coin landing on shaded portion of board? And this is shaded portion. Okay, so if x is 16, radius, this is diameter, equals to 8. How of this? And area shaded equals area of square minus area of circle. Now look at this. We have four pieces like this. Okay, and divide by 4 to get 1. Or area of square. Since x equals to 16, it equals 16 times 16 minus 5 times 8 to the second over 4. Or if you multiply everything, right? Put pi here. If you multiply, I got 13.73. Just instead of pi 3.14, I use pi in your calculator. And now probability to get shaded, classical example. Area shaded to area total. In this case, area of square. Equals to area shaded, I just found 13.73. And area total is 16 to the second power. So if you count, you get about 0.053. So far, so good. Okay, good, good, good. If you have a question, ask me. Who understand up to this point everything? Raise your hand. Home? Okay, Caesar, David. Oh, David, good. Shakru. David improve a lot. Good. I check how careful you are. Next is, it was, what is it, 418. In 419, Danila, 419, it was your question as well. 419.
In 1990, the exchange rate of American pesos was 3,120 per US dollar. The next year, the Mexican government issued a super peso which traded at 3 to the US dollar. Those who still possessed the old pesos could exchange them for super pesos or dollars, but a 4.8% transaction fee would be charged. How many US dollars could be exchanged for 91,754 old pesos? Ronnie answered it in the nearest penny.
Okay, thank you. Nice reading. Let's go over through step by step. I read everything for 19. And what we have? They said 4.8%. Okay. Transaction fee would be charged. Okay, number one, it was 100% plus transaction 4.8%. It would be 104.8%, or convert to decimals. It would be 1.048. Good. Step number two. It was given. This pieces was 3,120. 3,120, and you apply this transaction rate, and you get exchange rate for all pieces times 1.048. If you multiply, I give this answer, it will be faster. 3,269.76. Next, you know that $1 is equivalent to this amount all pieces. 3,269.76. And they ask you, could be exchanged for 91,754. I don't know. From cross multiplication, find the answer. X equals 28.06. Okay, this was 19. So I'm not multiplying number. Anyway, you have scientific calculator. Use it. Let me erase it. Okay. Mhm. So 424 few students, so let me close it out. And we have square root of x varies inversely with y. You know, for inverse variation, product always the same. Product before and after the same. And we saw it many times, right? If you have inverse variation without thinking, for instance, 3 people can eat food for 7 days. If we have 4 more people join this group, how many days food lasts? So 3 times 7 equals 3 plus 4 people times x. Product before and after. Easy. And in this case, we have 424. They said square root of x varies inversely with y. Okay. And x equals to 196 and y equals to -1/2. And if inversely, it means this equals to constant. This definition absolute value of inverse variation, sorry. And now Find the value of x when y equals to -3. Find x. So square root of x when y equals to -3 equals square root of 196 times -1/2. And the y was powered by -3. Cancel out. And just count this. If you, what is it? This is 14. 14 divide minus simplify. It would be 14 divided by 2, 7. It would be 7/3. So x, square root of x equals to 7/3. And to find x, put both parts to the second power. And you get 49/9. Just plug in. So far so good? It was 424. 424. Next is 425. David, it was your question as well. Read, please. David. Do you have microphone, David? Check. Yes, you have microphone. Not prepared, right? Okay, who else asked me the question? 425. For instance, Victoria, you also asked me this question. Read this, please, 425.
Okay. A girls' softball coach was recruiting for Barron's High School spring softball team. The coach wanted to see if age was a determining factor in gauging the distance each girl could throw a softball. Which of the following statements can be concluded from the graph?
Thank you. Let me give general for 3 minutes introduction to this topic. This is 425. Imagine you have few pictures. One picture is like this. This data and best fit line. Another picture is like this. Another picture like this. Another picture like this. This is strong correlation. When this data very close to line, this very strong, which is far or distant from this line, but you can make this line is weak correlation. And in this case, no correlation. If line goes up, is positive correlation. If you have the same picture and line goes down, is negative. This is positive correlation, this is negative correlation, since slope is negative. So look in this question, this 425, what we have? We have this picture. Look at this picture. Data very close to best fit line, and line goes up. You can say there is a strong positive correlation between age and distance thrown. So far so good? Any questions? Easy, isn't it? Also a few second question. If you have a question, ask me. It was 425. Sometimes very difficult to find correlation. I give example of some work we're doing my colleague right now. There is nice institute in Sweden, and they study correlation between different parameters of health. I can reveal what specific parameter because this is secret information, but generally speaking. And if many years they fight to find correlation, they have big database, and accuracy of their predictions about 11%, which is nothing. And we publish article about AI, and now based on software we have AI, new kind of software we develop. This is a result of discussion day before yesterday. We got 71% correlation using this. Sometimes very difficult to extract data from database. Sometimes some parameters they consider not correlated, but it is. You have to have nice tools. So we improve a lot in this case from 11 to 71%. And that's about correlation. Well, next is what number? Let me see. That was 425. Okay. 428. The student includes Shakroch. What we have? 3 times 2 minus 4i to the second power. Okay. So first of all, students, how to do it in a few seconds, like 30 seconds. You can do this. Use TI-84. Input this data. Put to the second power, and you get answer. Okay. But good idea to know how to do the without calculator, because what if they put this question in section number 3? So it's not prohibited to use calculator for this. So in this case, apply formula, expand your form, 3 times 4 minus 16i plus 16i to the second equals I to the second equals to -1 equals 3 times 4 minus 16i minus 16 equals. Combine like terms. You have 3 times -12 minus 16i. Which format they ask you to get the answer? Okay, they ask you to open parentheses. Okay, it will be -36 minus 48i. Simple. Just keep in mind, I square equals to -1. Okay. 429, David and other people, 429. There are 9 students. 9 students. And the average have 79. What must 10th students? Oh, this Mark Twain question. Remember this? Just different numbers. So 9, how to get average? Average equals total divided by number of addends, which is 9 times 70, what is it, 79, plus one more test, divided by 10, because this is 9 and one more test. And this must be equals to what, 81. If you multiply both part by 10, and this result of multiplication, this is supposed to be 711. You get 711 plus x equals to 810. Minus 711 and minus 711, if you subtract, you get 99. X equals to 99%. 429. Okay, for next one, 430. 430. Again, if you're not asking me, I assume you did it correct. In 430, we have a graph like this, like a camel. Okay. All zeros of polynomials are shown in the graph above. What the following could be equation of f of x? Well, look at this. We have rule of thumb. If you have graph tangent to x-axis, so if intersect is one root, this one root. If tangent, we have two roots which are the same. So there are two roots here, two roots, and one root. Overall, if you add them up, you have 5 roots. 5 roots. You call main theorem of algebra is name of the theorem. The equation of n power has n roots. If you have 5 roots, okay, equation of polynomial is supposed to be fifth degree, the greatest power. Now look at this multiple choice, which is fifth degree. Only C, x to the fifth. Okay. And 5 is degree of these polynomials. Also easy question. We did this, if you remember. Any question for 13? No questions. Next is, let's go through 432. 432. Let me see. Okay, yes, 432. Okay, Caesar, would you like to read it? It was your question as well, 432.
Manufacturer of surgical equipment measures its profit by using the following profit. By using the following profit function. P of x is equal to 11,000x minus 6,750, where x is the number of units the company sells in a 3-month period. If the company's profit over a 3-month period was 9,321,250, how many units did it sell?
Okay, very nice reading, like on TV, right? Nice voice with intonation. Very good. So write this formula. The give formula. 432. And we have P of x equals 11,000 x's minus 6,750. Okay. And they said, and what is P of X? It's profit. And this profit must be equals 9 million 321,250. So find X plus 6750 plus 6750 bring down 11,000. X cancel out. If you add them up, you have, okay, what you have? You have 90 to 8 and divide by 11,000 plus parts. After division, you get 848. Okay, just substitution here. Find from formula value. It was 432. Next is 434. 434, Theodore, please. It was your question as well.
Standard candle is a way for astronomers to calculate the distance to an object in space. The apparent brightness of an object varies directly with the square of the distance. For example, a galaxy that is 1,000,000 times farther than another would appear to be 1,000 times dimmer. Similarly, a nebula that is 900 times more distant than another would appear 30 times as dim. If a star appeared to be 16 times dimmer than another star, how many times farther away is the more distant star?
Okay, thank you. So what is given? This is nice reading, Theodore. 434 and times dimmer. They ask you to further. For instance, you have times dimmer, 8,000. Okay. So times further, it would be 1,000 to the second power. And definitely it would be 6 zeros. 3, 6. What else? Here we have 30 times SD. 30 times. It would be 30 to the second, which is 900. Next. Okay. Here we have 16 times dimmer. You have 16 to the second power, which is 256. This is 256. Just follow instruction. This not too complicated. 434. Okay, 435. 435, I try to make a picture. And I'll make this one and make line of symmetry and connect. And connect this. And this is what is it, 2 centimeters. This would be it's not to scale, 6 centimeters. And this is 6 centimeters. Okay. The width, okay, of the top of cylinder that surround the cone is 2 centimeters. The height of the cone 6. And volume of part, volume equals 1 or 2 pi. Volume equals to 1 or 2 pi. What the radius? Radius. Find R. Well, step number 1. Volume equals to volume total, volume of part, whatever you name it, equals volume of cylinder plus volume of cone. So first we got volume of cylinder. If you use this, let's say this is radius, if this is radius, this is 2. So this radius is 2. So this radius would be R plus 2. 2 more because of this. So volume of cylinder equals pi times R plus 2 to the second multiplied by 6 plus volume of cone 1 over 3 pi R squared times 6 equals. So far so good. Any questions? Please keep thinking after the just manipulations. If you do this one, what you're supposed to do, you can, and this equals to 1 over 2 pi. Equals to 1 over 2 pi. 1 over 2 pi. Well, what they can do this 1 or 2, and this 3 goes into 6 2 times. And I can multiply both parts. I take a different color. I can multiply both parts by, okay, 1 over 2 pi. Make sense? Look at this. Pi and pi cancel out. 2 goes into 6 3 times. I will get 3 R plus 2 to the second. Plus 2 and 2 cancel out. Pi and pi cancel out. Okay, I have R squared. And equals 2 goes into 1 or 251. And pi cancel out. Beautiful, I have simple equation, quadratic equation, let's solve it. Any question about this quadratic equation? So 3 R to the second plus 4R plus 4 plus R squared equals to 51. Or 3R squared plus 12R plus 12 plus R squared equals to 51. Or combine like terms. I'll continue with that. It will be 4R squared plus 12R and I subtract 51 from both sides. Minus 51 and minus 51. And cancel out would be 0. When you subtract, it would be minus 39 equals to 0. Next, you have quadratic equation. You can use quadratic formula. I believe everybody remember this. R the first, the second equals double the first 2 times 4. The second is negative 12 plus minus square root of 12 to the second minus 4 times negative 39. Since you have quadratic scientific calculators 144, if you perform, I did it, I get R equals to, what is it? I get value of R, which is 196 from here. R equals positive value 196. But look this question. The question is, what the radius of cylinder? Don't forget, radius of cylinder, this one is R plus 2 equals to 1.96 plus 2. It will be 3.96. 96 or 99, let me check. Yes, 3.96. And they ask you round to nearest 10. If round to nearest 10, it's about 4. So people who created this test, they solve it wrong. They have different answer. But this is the only answer, this one. They did wrong. They have many mistakes. Sometimes, especially Kaplan, new books, I found 7, even 9 mistakes. Okay, this is easy. It's impossible to make mistake here. Just cylinder plus cone and solve quadratic equation. Okay, any questions about this, students? No questions. Okay, it was 4:35, many students. $4.36. In 4:36, we have a circle and we have a sector. And this angle, central angle, the theta, equal 34.4 degrees. And area of sector, this area of sector equals to 139.6. The nearest tenth of unit, what the measure of circle's radius? Radius. This is 0. Well, you know, when you have an area of circle, which is pi r squared, is 360 degrees. But when you have 34.4 degrees, area is 139.6. Okay, and you have to find radius. How? Cross multiplication. Pi square multiply 34.4 equals 139.6 times 360. Divide by 34.4 plus parts. Cancel out. And keep in mind pi is 3.14. Divide by pi plus parts. Okay, plug in 314, and what you get? You got this one is 468, 384. To get radius, take square root. It's supposed to be positive of 466, 384. And this about, if you round what they ask you, actually it's 21.5959. And since they ask you to understand, it's 21.6. To understand this 100%, 100, up to this point, everything. Where is my friend David? Evelyn, Shakru. Good. Evelyn, Evelyn, I want your attention. Thank you. Again, if you have any question, ask me. Next, this was 436. And 438, we have few students. For instance, Ilya, I read this, it was a question as well. 438.
Yeah, sorry. A driver inadvertently left his keys in his shorts when he was swimming. The keys fell out of his shorts and went to the bottom of his swimming pool. The keys appeared to be 9 feet below the surface. What is the difference between the actual depth of the keys and the apparent depth?
Okay, you understand what is going on this? Should I make a picture? Or you understand this coefficient of reflection of different substances is different? You study in physics, yes or no? I give example. For instance, if you look through, pretend this is air, right? You have object over there, and this your eye, okay? And you look at this, and it's reflected beam goes the same way. But then you have a water, right? In water, you have different coefficient of reflection, and it goes different way. It goes based on law of reflection. It goes this way and this way. And you have impression this stone over there, not over here. There's danger when you're swimming during summer. Be careful. It's look like not deep, but it could be actually deep because we have different substances, have different coefficient of reflection. Based on this, a lot of optics constructed, this lenses based on this idea, etc., etc. So in this particular case, this is 38, 438. And what is, we have actual depth, actual depth, and they name it actual depths and apparent depths. It's how we appear with this, how we feel it. So when you have actual depth is 5, apparent depth is 4. When you have actual depth, apparent depth 9, I have no idea. So cross multiplication, 4x equals to 45. Divide by 4. Which unit they provided? If you simplify, you get 11 and 1 over 4, or 11.25 p. But that's not the question. The question is to ask you find difference. Difference usually in math use delta between apparent depth and actual depth. 11.25 and actual and apparent depth is 9. If you subtract, you will have 225 feet. 225 feet. Okay, practically explain all without exception, most class questions. If you have, I'm gonna explain you some related question related to circles as well. But if you have any questions about David, put your hands down. Okay, down. Because if you have question, ask me or put it down. Okay, few questions related to this circle. Again, I'm gonna go through mostly class questions. Most question I get for question number 5. Number 5 is circle. So in addition to SAT, we always have questions like cluster questions from SAT. And let's 25. 5. Let's make a picture for 5. Okay, we have a semicircle. We have Cartesian coordinates. And this is O. This is Q. And this is vertex of this is P, which is 4, 7. This is Y, this is X. What the coordinate of point Q? Q, coordinates Q. Look at this, students. If you look at this picture, since this is circle, and this 4, 7, and this O1 is center of this circle, semicircle, it means radius equals to 7 from this picture, right? This 7. It means this is 7, and this 7. From another side, since X coordinate, its order pair is 4, okay, this piece is 4, this segment is 4. And this segment is 7. According to addition postulate, remember we did with you, this distance would be 7 minus 4, which is 3. But since Q belongs to the second quadrant, X in second quadrant is negative, right? They ask the coordinate of this. Coordinate of point Q would be -3, and Y equals to 0. Look at this again, not too fast. Who understand this 100%? 100. Okay. Question for Shakrov, what about you? Hands? Good. Let me go through another one where you have when you student ask 4. Okay. 25, 4. And 25, 4. We have, again, I make another picture. Finally, this. And Cartesian coordinate, this O. This -2, 0. This 8, 0. This X, Y. Okay. The graph we have a graph. With the following are the x coordinate of 2 points, x coordinate on the semicircle whose y coordinates are equal. When y1 equals to y2, find x1 and x2. Okay, if this is a vertical of the semicircle, make this one, right? And you can easily find that midpoint, how to find midpoint of this point. X midpoint equals x1 plus x2 divided by 2. Based on our values, it's -2 plus 8 divided by 2, which is 3. And coordinate of this point is 3, 0. Okay. And if you you can easily find radius. Radius is 8 minus 3, which is 5. 5 this way. And 3 minus 5, you get -2. So all of them 5. Already is 5. Now they give a solution set. An idea is if system is symmetrical, what is symmetrical? Let me take different color and explain you. For instance, I take green. Okay. Pretend I have 2 points. One y, this particular y. And look at this, what happens. For this y, they ask you to find x1, x2. And y for these 2 points is the same. Based on this picture, you see that in these circumstances, we have to follow the beautiful symmetry. 2 points must be equidistant from this line which goes through the vertex. Or otherwise, other way around, these 2 points, they're supposed to have the same midpoint. And look at this multiple choice. For instance, let's say I choose A. I know this is wrong, but just for example, A. In A, you have 0 and 7. So XMA equals 0 plus 7 over 2, which is 3.5. Is it equal to 3? No, garbage. And in the same manner, you can choose any of this. Or C. In C, we have 1 and 5. 1 plus 5 over 2, which is 6 divided by 2, which is 3. Good. They match perfectly. And that's how it works. If x equals to 1 and 5, you have the same value of y. So far, so good. It's not to scale, but it's how it works. Supposed to be the same point. Any questions? No questions. And finally, one more question. It was for number 3. For number 3. $25. Let's make this picture. And this is diameter. And this Cartesian coordinate. And we have points A, B. And B has coordinate 15, 6. And P has coordinate K0. P, K0. AB is diameter. Okay, it means this is center of the circle. And parallel to x-axis. What the value of K? Okay, if this diameter, like we did today, and if I connect this and this point of tangency 90 degrees, since this 6, radius is 6. 6 and 6. We found radius. So far so good. And coordinate of this point is x equals to 15. This 15, 0. Okay. And how to find this coordinate? Easy. K equals, this is 15. What is this? This is 15. And this is 6. If I subtract from 15, 6, I will get 9. So K equals to 9. A little bit experience. What I like this short exercises because all they devoted to one cluster, to the same point, to the same goal. And all of them you can find in SAT. It's SAT question actually. Only combined together by the same topic. In this case, topic is circle. So far, so good, students. How you feel about this? Okay, so today I give you easy test, easier than before, but I was surprised your score did not go up. Why? According to this AI system, I can make a conclusion that you're not working enough. Because if you work with previous set, which is a little bit more challenging, this your score supposed to jump ahead. It shows that you're supposed to work harder and do everything I give you at home in the same manner. If you have any more questions, ask me.
Wait, can we do that question on SAT test page 32?
Oh, yes. Thank you for reminding me. Read this question. Let me find it.
Many sailboat
Just
manufacturers.
a second. Let me find. Do you think I remember problems? After explanation, I immediately erase everything from. It was 2 classes ago, right? I believe.
Yeah, I think.
Let's define this. Tell me number.
434.
434. Okay. Yes, please. I found this.
Okay. Many sailboat manufacturers sell kits that include instructions and all the materials needed to build a simple sailboat. The figure shows the finished dimensions of a sailboat from such a kit. The instructions indicate that cosine of x equals b. It does not give the value of b. What is the value of b?
434, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I found this picture. Let me make a picture of this. 434. So this is a boat. I make schematical, okay? This is 16 feet. This is X. This is X. This is 12 feet. 12 feet. This is 4 feet. This is 5 feet. This is 5 feet. This is 18 feet. Okay, let me see this for 34. Kit that include instruction and all materials needed. The figure shows the finished dimension sailboat from such a kit. The instruction indicate cosine of x equals to b. Cosine of x equals to b. But do not give the value of b. B is a question mark. What value of b? Okay. Well, let me make it more convenient way, this one, because actually we're talking about cosine of x, and x belongs only to this picture. I will make for convenience this picture of this triangle, right? First of all, I see this is isosceles triangle. Make sense? Why? Because base angles are the same, x. I make it ABC. What else we know from this? Okay. We know that each side of this is 12. Because since this isosceles triangle sides are the same, this is 12. I can make perpendicular, right, of this. And this side equals to 16 is given. If this side is 16 and this altitude in isosceles triangle always is median and bisector, it means this one is 8. And this one is 8. And what is cosine of x by definition? Cosine of x equals adjacent to hypotenuse, 8 over 12. You can simplify by 4, right? It will be 2 over 3. But what is cosine of x? Cosine of x is our b. So b equals 2 over 3. Check one. Why they give this extra picture? Daniel, what do you think? Why we have this extra picture, this one?
To distract you.
Yes, absolutely. Okay.
Thank you.
They fighting to distract you, and you fight to win this, right? Okay. Today I will use small. I had another group in Europe, and I'm gonna show how some people in 4th and 5th grade curious about trig. Today I wanna make some lecture about trig for 5th graders, basic, using my method. Okay. Did I answer a question? Then you are.
Yeah, thank you.
Welcome. Good. So how you feel about lecture? Who understand everything on this lecture? 100%, 100. Okay, good. What I'm gonna do? I will send you, again, to develop skill, you see test is easier, but you do not jump ahead at all. Your result pretty very close to even some load this. It show you're not working enough. I give this stuff, you redo everything like I did. We spend even 30 minutes, 35 minutes more this. I don't mind. I just want you to have the highest score. Plus, we'll send this manager today after my new lecture. We'll send you another test and another patterns which you're supposed to practice. My request, follow the same way. When you send you, some of you sending me results, okay, and everybody must send results. When you look through this, you don't show your work at all. You just circle. Life is not gambling. You have to show the steps what I'm doing here on this test. Okay. If you don't have any questions, You have nice, your vacation finished right now in school? I believe yes. Okay, have a nice day. Enjoy math and see you next time. Bye, students.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a
Have a
nice
nice
day.
Be optimistic. Be well. Take care.